Welcome to your prenatal asana series. We are going to practice practices that are good at the time of labor and will ease and help the baby to come out swiftly and with a lot of ease and naturally. So these practices are really helpful in allowing the relaxation during the labor time. And also, even if you practice these practices before the labor, that means 2 to 3 weeks before the labor time is nearing, and you can start preparing for the labor and also condition your mind to know what to do at the time of the labor. These practices are actually really good. Now, birthing ball is actually a very important prop during the time of the labor, because this helps you stay in a squatted position or keeping your pelvis area open even when you are in pain, and it allows space for you to keep opening your pelvic and also stay relaxed at the same time. This is the quality and the speciality of using birthing ball at the time of labor especially. So it doesn't allow you to feel very stressful or you don't feel exhausted very quickly because you're already having some support to sit on. But at the same time, you're also helping the baby to engage in the pelvis more, go downwards, and create more space in the journey. Now, this birthing ball it comes in the various sizes, so it's always important to choose the one as per your height. Now, the idea is that the legs should be almost in the 90-degree angle. So if your birth ball is very bigger in size and your legs are a bit lifted like this, or your hips and legs are not in one angle, that's not probably that great position. So the idea is that the birthing ball should be kept in mind and purchased with the size in mind in which the legs come 90-degree straight. Also, while practicing most of the exercises or practices on the birthing ball, what we want to remember is that we are not opening the legs too much. When we open the legs too much, the upper pelvis begins to be shrinked, and hence that does not allow that much space for the baby. So the idea is to keep it as much as almost hip width distance apart, hence that the pelvic is open and the baby can slide through into the birth canal and is engaging into the pelvis more and more. And the idea of using birth ball is to really use gravity. Now, you must have seen in the movies or a lot of maybe if you have some experiences in the past of birthing, a lot of women specifically in certain countries in hospitals are motivated to lay down on their back in the hospital bed and do the laboring position. That is not a great idea. The idea is actually to use gravity more and more to allow the baby to engage into the pelvis downwards. So if you're lying backwards, that's the worst position for the baby, and it takes a lot more effort for the baby to push down himself or herself out from the vagina and go through the birth canal, as the baby has to do a lot of cardinal movement in order to come out and squeeze and adjust the body according to the birth canal and the space in your vaginal or cervical space. So that is where the gravity becomes your best friend. And hence, being able to use the birthing ball during your entire labor time in different postures can really help the baby come out with ease and engage. And also, the key for the good, natural, relaxful and easy labor is one, movement and use of gravity, and being open both mentally and physically. So if we practice certain things like maybe laying down during the whole painful labor time on the bed and not doing any movements, that can delay the labor and birth, and also it can hamper the whole process of natural birthing. So the idea is to do as much as movement during that time. So one can use a lot of walking or other asanas, which we will have in the coming series. But the birthing ball is one of another best ways. So the first thing that we can do is practicing slight squatting on the birthing ball. And the way we do it is just gently going up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, this movement not only feels good to you and your back, as your spine is lengthened in this position and you're up and right, alert in squatting position, and also you're moving your pelvic area consciously. So hence this is allowing more space for the baby to go down, and you're already using the gravity in your favor to allow the natural birth and allow the baby to help enter more into the birth canal. So, and it also is relaxing at the same time because when the contractions are happening, you want some movement to happen. And also the time in between each contraction should also be doing, if you are using some movement for relaxation, that also helps. Now, the second movement that we can use is side to side. Just opening the pelvis a bit more, moving side to side, allowing more space in the abdomen area. Now, when we are inside the labor, there are moments when the surge of contraction is happening. The surge of pain is happening. So it starts with the labor pain sometimes for some women, depending on if that's their first childbirth or the second or the third, depending on how open their body is. The surges of pain starts to happen 30 minutes apart or an hour apart. But then eventually, as the labor process progresses and the stages of the labor progresses, the surges of the pain comes once in every 5 minutes or once in every 3 minutes. In that case, if we are sitting on the birthing ball, all we can do is, as we are practicing these movements, we just stop for a while, do our breathing practices. Let's say inhale to 4 and exhale through mouth and relaxing. And counting the surge of the pain and the cycle of the breath. So maybe in the beginning itself, when the 1 minute surge of intense pain has come, you could have counted that it takes me 10 rounds of breaths or 5 rounds of breath to allow that 1 minute to pass. And knowing that this way and training the mind this way really helps the body to engage and know when to breathe and when to relax. And as you transition between relaxation and breathing, the labor becomes easier, and the final time, the moment for the baby to come out, looks much closer, as you have something to engage yourself. You have movement, you have breath, you have mantra. Everything in your favor starts to work because you know you are progressing at that point in time. If it feels comfortable to allow the surge of the pain to even use the moment at that point in time, it really depends on the comfort zone of each woman. This can also be used. So now the third movement that we are going to use after up and down, side to side, is circles. And this is also one of the best movements to prepare for the labor, for the coming labor. These are called pelvic circles. But pelvic circles done on the birthing ball around, let's say 10 to 15 minutes each day, 2 to 3 or 4 weeks prior to labor, are one of the best ways to engage the baby, start to engage the baby into your cervix. Now, in the case of breech baby, where the baby's head is up and the body is down, this recommendation does not work because we do not want to push the baby downwards when the head is upside. So these circles are practiced only when the doctor after the 35th week has told you that your position of the baby is head is down and the body is up. So then this is very, very helpful for the baby to go down and begin to get ready to come out in the world. Now, another way to practice pelvic circle is doing the 8s. Now, the way you do it is you visualize that you're creating number 8 first from your right to left. And this allows the pelvic to open in different manner, the baby to engage and use gravity in its own way. And baby loves the moment as well at the same time. It also relaxes your pelvic area and releases any lower back pain at the same time. One is making 8s from right to left or left to right. And another way is to go front and back and making 8s from your pelvic. Now, we have used the power of gravity and power of being open with the help of birthing ball here. Now, another power that we should be utilizing in our favor while we are inside of the labor or trying to induce labor or trying to prepare for the labor is leaning down. Now, leaning down has so many benefits while we are inside the labor or trying to induce labor or trying to prepare for the labor. Why leaning down has benefits is because leaning down, in the position of leaning down, we are using a lot of gravity once again in our favor. And we are giving the body a proper space for the baby to engage well, and also a lot of our side muscles and the pelvic muscles to relax and stay in the state where we are not exhausting our body during the labor hours, but at the same time we are being in the position which is more helpful for the baby to come out. So let's come into the leaning practices. Now, the first leaning practices with the birthing ball is simply coming into all fours, coming into the table position. But here what we have to remember is the space in between both your thighs has to be hip width apart. If you put your knees too close, that's like closing your pelvis, and that's not the idea. What we're trying to do is really be open and keeping our pelvic area open, hence, and your toes are relaxed on the ground. You have hip distance apart space within both your knees, and we keep the birthing ball right in front of us, and we lay down on one side. Now, the labor can be very long for some women, starting from anywhere from 2 hours to 20 hours at times. So having a lot of tools and a lot of different postures to relax on, and yet staying in a position which is more engaging for the baby and progressive for your labor is really, really helpful. So this is one of the positions among that. Now, you can also either just stay relaxed into it or do back and forth, just like this. And allowing more space for the baby and engaging the baby consciously into the cervix area. It's just like showing the pathway to the child. The mother has to just relax during the labor. The hard effort is actually done by the child. So preparing the mind of the mother that the whole practice is actually about you allowing the child to do his or her work, and as much as you're able to relax during the whole process, that is how more easier it is going to be for your child to come out in the world. So the mother's job is to just stay relaxed and support the child in this journey out into the world. So that's what. Here, surrender matters and relaxation matters. So the next posture is that we can do here is lunges. So we use one leg and spread it wide, and this is another way to open the pelvic area and use the birthing ball as a support and keep opening. We can do 5 to 10 lunges each side and allowing the pelvic area to open. Now, another great practice with the birthing ball and another leaning practice is that we do squatting while taking the support of the birthing ball. This, while doing squatting, what one needs to remember is that if the balance of the woman is not that great at the point of delivery, then she might need someone else to support her to practice the squat. But if she is comfortable and she has a bit of more control over the body in terms of the balance of the body, she can practice squats using the birthing ball. So the way we do it is simply stand and then create enough space for the belly and the baby. We put both our hands on the birthing ball and squat fully. Now, this can be difficult to practice for a longer time, but we want to give some time to the baby to engage as much as possible. So practicing this anywhere from 30 seconds to 1 minute to 2 minutes is good practice. And staying here in the squat and keeping the balance and taking the support of the birthing ball is very essential. Allowing the breath to happen in the posture, breathing into this, and gently coming out. Now, one of the last and the most relaxing, beautiful practices that we do in yoga also as one of the relaxation posture is child pose. And child pose is a very good practice to be done with the birthing ball while in the labor is in progress. So the way we do it is simply open our thighs and create enough space for the belly and the baby and relax. Trying to open taking few breaths here. Keep relaxing. We can also do side to side. and releasing. Now, there can be times when the woman has done enough birthing practices with the birthing ball and she wants to stand up. And when she wants to stand up, or she wants to do different positions with the birthing ball, another way to use the birthing ball is, number one, on the bed. Now, most hospital beds have the capacity to tilt to half or something. She can always keep the birthing ball right in front of her and stand on her knees and use it as support and lie down or lean down or on the support of the birthing ball, and keep certain pillows underneath if required, or the bed is already tilted and that can become a support. Even if she can't and she feels tired of being on the floor or for a longer period and she wants to be on the bed, then this is another practice that can be used with the birthing ball. Another standing practice is using a chair and keeping the birthing ball on the chair and resting on the chair. Now, this way, you're still using the gravity to flow, you're still using and allowing the natural motion to occur for the baby to keep engaging, but you're also standing and resting at the same time, and maybe someone's legs must be tired, or they want enough blood flow to flow because they were sitting for long periods, then this is another great practice to be done. Now, another and the last and the best movement that one can use birthing ball is just lying down on their side. Now, a lot of hospitals have access to something called peanut ball. Peanut ball is actually the right shape of birthing ball to be practiced with in this posture. If there is no availability of the peanut ball, we can try this with birthing ball, but it can be a bit difficult. Otherwise, the other alternative is the pillows, a lot number of pillows. The idea is that if you're tired and you want to lay down even, then rather than laying down on the back, laying down to the side and having something in between your knees to hold on to, hence your pelvic is open, and then you can relax even in this posture and allow the labor process to keep happening for you, and inhaling and exhaling, practicing your birthing breaths during this side laying posture and allowing the support of the ball in between and keeping the pelvic area open while even relaxing on the bed is one of the great idea also. And this practice will help you relax, at the same time allow the pelvic area to stay open and relaxed at the same time. So using this also in between the labor is a great idea. Now, these are the practices that we do with the birthing ball. One of another practice that one can do while on the birthing ball is cat-cows. Cat-cows can be done in two manners. One is while you are on your all fours and you're relaxing on the birthing ball, you can do cat-cows simply in this manner. This will help your spine and the lower back a little bit to relax for a while. Or simply, you can use the birthing ball, sit on it, and be in one straight line, one straight position, And just simply put both your hands on the knees and do cat-cows. Now, this is one of the also great practice to prepare for labor, even while you have not entered into the final labor process. This helps you release any tension from the lower back. At the same time, it's helping the baby to engage more and is providing some more movement to your spine and releasing tension from the upper back and your shoulder, and also creating some space for the belly and the baby. I hope these practices will allow your students, and if you're practicing yourself, a very, very healthy labor in progress, and they will help bring the child on the earth with a lot of ease and grace. Thank you.